Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. My name is Sean Dexter, and I welcome you to the Mango Grove for your second analysis video of the day. Earlier this morning, I did post a trade idea, trade setup on Bitcoin, and that trade is unfolding as we speak. And hey, I may actually end up being wrong on that trade, so we'll see how that pans out. In this video, however, we will be talking about Chainlink. I have been in a Chainlink trade for a while. I did close out that trade. I was short on that position and nice 25% win on that one. A nice long trend trade that panned out over a week, but I'm no longer in that trade. I'm actually now in a long position for Link, and I'll be talking about that in today's video. That trade idea is, hey, unfolding as we speak as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we have the Mango Research dashboard. As you guys can see, we are on the 2-day time frame as we speak. Things are looking a little bit red, but that's only because of the way I've filtered things. If you you can use filter it the way you want, right? You can see the red returns, the green returns, the trends that are long, the trends that are short, etc., etc. But hey, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch on over to my favorites list so we get a good idea of the coins that I want to keep an eye on. As you can see, I am keeping an eye on XTZ, Link, and Bitcoin, right? Now, this is the 2-day time frame, and what we want to do is switch on over to the 4-hour time frame, because I was using that to kind of get some more confidence in, hey, do I want to start building a nice position for Link right now? Do I want to close my position now, or should I hold on to it? And you can see that, hey, Link USD 10 hours ago, around the same time that I started closing out my short position, started flipping long. And hey, Link BTC 2 hours ago started flipping long as well, right? And this is on the 4-hour time frame, guys, right? So this kind of confluence, or these when you're seeing your trade setups, okay, that are independent of the dashboard, line up the dashboard, that's when you can get that confidence that, hey, you are in the right direction. In that case, whether you end up being wrong on the trade or not, it shouldn't matter to you. You are building a trade setup with boosted confidence, and in the long run, if you keep taking those trade setups, you will end up winning, right? So let's go ahead and talk about this Link trade. So we'll switch on over to the Link BTC chart right now. And oh my god, there we go. So Link is pumping as we speak. Good. Keep going, Link. Keep going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the 4-hour time frame. Actually, you know what? I'll give you guys a quick update on what I've been doing. We'll start with the daily time frame. Right over here, hide our horizontals. Essentially, we took our short trade right over here, right? When we closed underneath the 10K, the 21 EMA on the daily time frame. Even that time, guys, the dashboard had confluence, right? The dashboard was saying, hey, Link USD and Link BTC are both looking weak, right? But Bitcoin USD was saying long. That's why we took our trade on the Link BTC trade, on the Link BTC chart. One, I wasn't too keen on taking longs on Bitcoin because I'm trying to stay away from the entire halving event thing. Krisha took the trade, and Krisha is enjoying herself because of that. I didn't, but what I did instead was trade against Chainlink on the Bitcoin pair, right? So in a way, we are longing Bitcoin by shorting Chainlink, right? So what we were essentially saying was that, hey, Bitcoin's looking strong and Chainlink's looking weak. What I want to do is short Chainlink against Bitcoin, and that worked out really well for us. Now, we wanted to take that as a trend trade, right? We sat through it, but where do we start looking to get out of that trade? Where's those key areas that we don't want to play against? Well, we've been talking about how if you are taking a trend trade on a lower time frame, be very careful of the higher time frame stepping in and turning the trend around, right? And if you are taking a trade on the daily, the higher time frame is the weekly. And for months now, we've been looking at this massive trend line, okay, massive trend line on Chainlink that has been developing, right, all the way from around 22nd April 2019. This trend line has been holding strong. It actually even highlighted a massive rising wedge, ascending triangle for us. I can go ahead and draw. How do I do this without messing up the chart? Okay, let's do this. So essentially we had this massive ascending triangle, right, that you can't see it here because the chart is so messy, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right over here, that we broke on over to the upside too, and and came and tested it twice now. These horizontals over here have been very key, guys, very key. This horizontal right over here, look at my cursor, all right, very key. We came bounced off it, and if you switch on over to the lower time frame, you can see that, hey, that's exactly, look at this yellow horizontal, that's exactly where Link actually came and had a massive bounce, right? Giving me confidence in that, you know what, Sean, you are right about this being a very key area, and it's time to start taking out the rest of your trade too. So over here, when I was closing out my short, I did not take out everything. But once I saw that, hey, you know what, a lot of other people are closing out their position too, a lot of other people are actually buying over here as well, maybe I want to start getting out the rest of the trade. And that's when I started getting out of my trade, right? Over here, guys, that's how you start seeing the pattern of distribution, accumulation, blah blah. That's what's happening, guys. The longs are closing, the shorts are closing, etc., right? It's not only people buying in, it's also the shorts that are closing their positions, right? If it's accumulation, you are seeing longs buying and shorts closing. If it's distribution, it's the other way around. Okay, so in this area over here, I was hypothesizing on, hey, maybe it's accumulation, right? This is a key area, and we started seeing that, right? We started seeing a low, higher low, and the pattern of accumulation, ascending triangle, whatever you want to freaking call it. You guys know patterns come secondary to major levels for me. And over here, we had a major level. As soon as we start closing above this horizontal over here, as well as the 21 EMA and the Tenkin, that was my sign. You can go ahead and look at the 1 hour time frame that, hey, you know what, this is looking a lot cleaner. And what I want to do now is, let's zoom in a little bit. You can see that as soon as we start closing above this horizontal over here on the 1 hour time frame, we start bouncing off it, right, and using that horizontal as support, and each wick after that has been a higher low, guys. And Chainlink has a habit of doing this, where it will essentially not give you too much time to get into the position, right? It is generous, and I'll talk about how, but it is generous by being volatile in the same regard, and we're seeing the volatility right here. I'm very happy about this. Come on, Chainlink, do me good. This is going to be one of the few times where I actually catch both directions of the trade. It's been one of my weaknesses. I've always had this weakness, but I've been trying to get better at it, where I trade only one direction, and when I take my profits, I kind of sit back, and even though I know that, hey, you know what, it's time to flip long, I don't commit to it fully. This time I've been able to improve on that area, and I committed to this trade fully, right? A lot has to do with this being Chainlink. Chainlink is just one of those coins where you want to be long, because, hey, I like Chainlink, man. It's a beautiful chart. It trades beautifully in both directions. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited today. My Bitcoin trade isn't going too well at the moment. 9,838. I took a short trade at around 9,881-ish, right, somewhere around there. I was hoping to see continuation, but hey, my short on Bitcoin kind of lined up with me longing Link, right? So think about it. It's the reverse now. If I'm thinking Bitcoin is weak, then I want to be long on Link, right? Because I'm saying, hey, Link is going to outperform Bitcoin, right? But I want to be long on Link against the Bitcoin pairing. This time around, though, I actually have a spot position on Link. So I'm looking to hold on to this one for a while, okay? Because again, I'm taking this on the weekly time frame, guys. I'm taking this on the weekly time frame. I'm seeing this bounce of the weekly 21 EMA over here as well. If we close the Link on the above the Tenkin, I'm going to be feeling very confident on this trade to hold for long term. If we actually close above the 10 SMA as well, I'm going to be very confident to hold this. It's going to look like a nice strong bounce. I've missed out on trades coming on this horizontal twice now. I'm not going to miss out the third time. And it's going to be funny if this actually ends up failing on me, and this is on the third time it actually ends up closing underneath. Hey, it is what it is, right? But you guys know how I regard support and resistance. I know some people feel that, hey, the more times you hit it, the less strength it has. I don't look at it that way. To me, it is support until it is broken. I do look at the higher lows and the higher highs. If we start putting in lower highs going into that support line, then I start being skeptical of it. But Link is not giving me that impression at all. Okay, so that being said, where are my targets? Where am I looking for this to go? Well, To begin with, this is going to be a more longer term position unless it fails on me immediately. We'll know very, very quick. Remember guys, with a trend trade, when you just begin out the trade, you don't want to be taking losses, right? You don't want it to go against you too deep. But as it starts developing into profits, that's when I allow the trade to come back on me, and that's when I allow the trade to breathe some more, right? So in the beginning, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious, but as it starts developing, right, I'm going to give it more room to breathe. Okay. At the moment, however, we already are well in profits. I start building my long position somewhere around here, right? So it's moved around 7% thus far. I would say that I'm on average probably like 5% already in profits. So we do have some room at the moment, but I wanted to start taking another leg up before I start giving it more room to breathe, all right? Also, I do want to talk about a psychological mistake that new traders tend to make, and I used to make, right? Because I'm just coming off a nice win on Chainlink, right? Especially because it's on Chainlink, a nice 20% win, and now I'm taking another trade on Chainlink. People tend to use the previous trade as a buffer for the new trade. You cannot do that, guys, all right? It is a recipe for disaster in the long run. Don't use your previous trade and say, hey, yeah, I'm 20% up, so I'm going to give this even more room to move against me. No, it's a brand new trade, a brand new thesis, etc., etc. Disregard your previous trade. It's done. It's over. Just like how you forget about your losses, right? When it's over, you need to forget about your wins when it's over. Let it go. Be happy about it. Enjoy it. Celebrate it. Pat yourself on the back and move on. Because honestly, guys, if you have to truly get good at this game, you need to be stoic and emotionless about your wins as well. And that's when you actually become good. But am I recommending that? No, because hey, you gotta enjoy life, man. You gotta like be happy about your wins, right? In my opinion. Now, again, it's not the most optimal way, but hey, it is the mango way. It's the stress-free way. Enjoy your wins, forget your losses, but you need to forget your wins too very, very quickly, and don't let them influence your next trade. All right, it's been my weakness in the past where I let it influence my trade. Not in that I say, hey, I'm going to give myself a buffer, but when I end up on a winning streak, I've noticed this about myself. When I'm like 5 or 6 wins in a row, my 7th trade is a horrible trade. My 7th or 8th trade ends up being really horrible. I don't know why. So I've tried to counter that by just stepping away from the charts. Okay, anyways, again, too much ranting. Sean, stop it. Let's talk about some trading. Where are my targets? Well, this horizontal over here, I'm not sure why it's here. It is a level, but I'll actually be looking at something like this over here. Right over here, if we switch on over to the 12 hour, that will probably line up. Yeah, right over there would be the first key area where I do think Chainlink is going to see some resistance. If we see if we turn on rather 21 EMA, the mango ribbon, which has the 21 EMA, the Tenkin, and the 200 moving average, you're going to see a nice little cluster right over here where I do think Chainlink is going to wick up to, see some sort of resistance, and probably close underneath this horizontal. Now, it'd be great if you close above the horizontal, right? Be great, and in that regard, I'm going to look for further continuation. But if we do close underneath, it's not a bad thing. We'll just be looking for a lower high somewhere around here. Sorry, a high low somewhere around here, and this would be our lower high, of course. And then we're looking for a trend to establish itself on the 12-hour time frame, right? Remember, guys, the trend is still down on the 12-hour time frame. On the 4-hour, we are now beginning to see the signs of a trend developing. We have broken the downtrend. We have broken the downtrend on the 4-hour, but we haven't established an uptrend just yet. If we move on, hey, what do you know that this move over here to the Tenkin 21 EMA and the 200 moving average does line up with the 4-hour, let me hide this, the 4-hour Kijun. So a move up to the 4-hour Kijun lining up with a Tenkin to Kijun trade, C-span trade as well, is going to give us a potential lower high and then possibly a move down over here for a higher low. So if you guys have missed your trade entry, perhaps a opportunity may arise to pick up a higher low, fish a higher low somewhere around here, and then we'll have something like, let me bring this back, yeah, somewhere around here, and then something like that, and then something like that. That's what we'll be looking for, right? But since we have this horizontal over here, I don't know whether we'll get down over here, perhaps fish for something over here. Let's see. I'll be looking to build my trade that way, right? If I do manage to get an opportunity to take profits at the 200 moving average, 10k in 21 EMA, and then it actually goes my way in the fact that we get rejected and I get an opportunity to build more of a position down here. That's how I'll be doing it. Remember, it could go in that I actually take profits over here and Chainlink just shoot on over to the upside. That may happen, and that's a trade-off that I'm already willing to take. I'm mentally prepared for it, right? So if you are looking to take profits, guys, be ready for the fact that, hey, this may go on without me, okay? Be ready for it, accept it, and include it into your trading plan. And remember, we're still waiting for the trend on the higher time frames to establish itself, and that's when we can start building a stronger and stronger positions while taking profits on these levels over here and then repositioning on the pullbacks, right? So we can go ahead and look at the dashboard and then use the dashboard to gauge, hey, is the trend developing? On the 4 hour, we have here Link BTC telling us go long 2 hours ago, right? And if you guys had actually followed this, right, if you guys have access to the premium version, of course, and you guys follow the Link BTC call 2 hours ago, well, you would have been in, let's go back on over to the 1 hour time frame. 2 hours ago would have been right here, actually. Damn, calling it really, really well. Nice 4% instant up thrust, going on over to our next resistance line, probably getting to our 1 hour 200 moving average, lining up with our target as well. So yeah, that's how we're going to do it, right? Look at the 4 hour and then wait for the 12 hour to give us the sign. Not giving us it just yet, just like we talked about in the video, right? Just rewind a little bit. We don't have the trend established just yet. Then we'll be looking for this to switch. Then on the pullback, I'll be buying more. Then I'll be looking for the daily, looking for that to switch, take some profits. On the pullback, buy some more. Again, that's the perfect scenario. Does it need to actually unfold like that? No, it's not going to be perfect, right? If you guys do remember, on Bitcoin, we did have a very, very nice, I'll give you guys an update on my Bitcoin trade as well, but we had a perfect trade on Bitcoin all the way from here, right? This trend, we got the perfect trend trade to the upside, and I told you guys it's not always gonna pan out this way. Often we either miss the trade, we don't start off well, or it just is very, very choppy, right? But every now and then, if you plan ahead, like we did over here, right? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps all planned, and it actually panned out perfectly. All right, so let's go back on to Link, and yeah, here we are on the 1 hour. I am waiting for the 12 hour uptrend to start establishing itself. We have a 4 hour uptrend, but not a 12 hour uptrend just yet. No, we don't have a 4 hour uptrend just yet either. We've broken the 4 hour downtrend, all right? Keep that in mind. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for, guys. First target somewhere around this region over here, and then after that we'll be taking it step by step. Where am I going to be wrong? Well, if we start closing candles underneath 37,638 Satoshi, or we take out this wick over here at 36,600 Satoshi, in that case, I'll be getting out of this Chainlink BTC trade. Okay, cool. That's pretty much it. I wanted to keep this video short. I hope it is short. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a quick update on my Bitcoin trade. Where's it? Yeah, I'll put up this one over here. And again, go ahead and watch the video that I already posted. My trade idea was essentially, it's not invalidated just yet, but there are a couple of things that I do want to be wary of that I did not speak about in yesterday and in the previous video from this morning, and that's essentially on the 1 hour time frame. But let me give you guys a quick recap on my trade. My trade was essentially from around, let me zoom in for you guys, and so my trade was above the 10 SMA and looking for a close underneath the 10 SMA, and we got that, right? So I took the trade on this candle, and we're looking for, so I took my trade near this horizontal over here, not at the exact horizontal. That would be the perfect trade, of course, but I took it around 9,880-ish, looking for a candle close underneath the 4 hour 10 SMA. We got that, right? We got that. But look at that. When we start seeing continuation to the downside, right after that, if you switch on to the 1 hour, we're seeing support along these wicks over here, okay? Seeing support along these wicks over here. So we do have rising wicks, but it's not convincing enough for me to get out of my trade, right? Look at that. This is more of a double bottom, and then this one over here is a support of this double bottom horizontal, whatever the hell you want to call it, but it wasn't convincing enough. I want to see the slope a little more angled to the upside. We don't have that just yet. So for now, I'm going to stay in the trade. If we do start taking out this wick over here at around 9,727, in that case, I'm going to look for that move all the way down to 9,600. And hey, we might see that. So for now, It's all about being patient. Remember, being patient. Remember what I talked about in the previous video as well. I have to give this a couple of 4-hour candles before I say, hey, you know what? This is not looking as good as I expected. I was looking for a 4-hour candle close underneath the 10 SMA. Yes, I got that, but I also wanted to see us start closing candles underneath this horizontal, right? So once we do see that, yes, we're seeing the weakness, but I want to see this candle close underneath as well. That's when I have the full-on confidence in the trade. For now, remember, guys, I am taking only half my positions on Bitcoin. Why? Because we are going into the halving. Secondly, I'm also being a little bit more cautious on my entries. Remember, I took my trade above over here. I was being very patient. Why? Because the trend is to the upside. The trend is still to the upside. And I do not want to be trading against the trend, even though I'm taking this trade as a support and resistance play, right? It's an SNR trade, quickly from the middle of the range to the bottom of the range. What do we talk about? 4-hour 21 EMA coming up above the horizontal, just like we expected. And I think when we do confirm the 21 EMA above the horizontal over here on the next 4-hour candle, we might see that move. But hey, let's see. I may actually end up being wrong on this trade. You can't win them all. That being said, my name is Sean Dexter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.